I'm not sure how to describe being a champion church, but I'm going to do the best that I can. A champion church is a church that's come alongside of us in prayer, first of all. A church that's decided that they wanted to be a part of what God is doing already. We've not gone down to do God's work. We're going down to participate in what He's already about. And your church has come alongside of us as an Ecuador group of men and women that have seen the need to have theological education. When your church was presented with an opportunity to be part of what is the champion church, you didn't know what the champion church was either. And so together we've learned what is the champion church and what is its function. You came alongside of us to help train the next generation of pastors and leaders that will train the future generations. So you're being involved specifically in training young pastors, experienced pastors, get their theological education through seminary. Back in 2008, we began a project looking and seeing how God wanted to bless us. And we went from seminary to seminary. Went to Baptist institution after Baptist institution. We shared with many, many churches the need for theological education because we saw a great vacuum. We saw a need for theological education to raise up the next generation of pastors. And God was planting in the hearts of many, not only on the Ecuador side, but here in the U.S. as well, planting in the hearts of many this vision that came from His heart to say, this is the way I want to raise up the next generation. Through the years, we have seen the advancement of the work. Pastors excited, churches growing, pastors being named and ordained. And yet we still saw the great need for theological education. And just a couple of years ago, as we began to meet with Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary, we began to realize this was going to become a reality. And before we could even understand what was going on, it was running so fast. Oh my goodness, it's such an exciting thing. When we are following in the footsteps of the Savior, when God is leading the way, many times He asks us to run with Him because the things that we had been praying for so many years began to become a reality, one right after the other. And in the midst of all that, there was Tabernacle Baptist Church. As Tabernacle came alongside, unknowing to them what it was going to mean, you came to visit us and came to talk with us and came to hear the vision of our pastors, and you made a decision as a church to come alongside and sponsor and scholarship the students that are getting their theological education through Southwestern online, all in Spanish, with Spanish-speaking professors, and teaching them on how they would train the next generation. As we establish what our mission is, our mission as a theological institution in Ecuador is to have biblical training in a theological and organized fashion to help train the next disciplers of the future generation of disciplers. And you see, you're a part of that. Because without the education, without the preparation, they would always be dependent on people coming from outside to come in and teach. And now we're raising up the generation of Ecuadorian pastors that will train within their own culture, within their own language, within their own context, and within their own heart for the gospel of Jesus Christ. Part of our teaching is to teach them to go out. Right now, we are sending these young students that are studying in our seminary. You see, you're helping train the teachers, and those teachers are already teaching. Isn't that amazing? You're taking classes, and immediately you're giving classes. You are teaching and being able to see the fruit immediately. So we have 12 students that are studying through Southwestern and are getting their master's degree. We also have a 13th student who is here with us this morning, and that's Roberto. Roberto is getting his degree and to be able to come back as an administrator and be able to help us and continue the ministry there in Ecuador. But we have 12 pastors that are studying in theological education. They are our teachers. And we have under them 9 new students that are taking a class that basically would be like a high school level theological education program. And our master's level students are the ones that are teaching that. And what a blessing and a joy it is to see your church participating by giving offerings, by participating in scholarships. Not scholarships only for those that are taking their theological education through Southwestern, but also for these 9 students, there's scholarship money available to them. For some of them have great needs, but all of them are participating. You see, we're not giving away the program either. It costs them $504 per trimester to go to seminary. And these seminary students, these 9 that are going through on this high school level, are growing in the Lord, growing in the work. I just had a testimony from 2 of those students They were sharing how much it had changed their perspective of what Christ's church was. Because they said, before we didn't really understand what we were about. And because of the theological education that we're receiving, we understand the purpose and the mission of the church. And they were excited about what God was going to be doing in their community. That to me is an encouragement.